got 25 minutes. We got to go. Hump day.
Happy Wednesday, everyone.
Happy Wednesday, Say That Nation.
Sorry,
what is going on, Janelle?
I already have an answer for the question, and it's based on our intro video. It just occurred to me as we were watching it, so I'm really excited.
Oh, even better. Oh, guys, and you don't even know the question yet. Happy Wednesday, you guys. Shout out to everybody out there in YouTube land.
We're really excited. This is the first time that you are with us. Welcome to our Say That Nation community. We're really excited to have you, and the reason why is because we understand that a lot of people like hearing about how people come from nothing and then they have this massive success, right? But what happens in the middle? What happens during that ugly come up? Well, we at Say That Channel, we are unapologetic about talking about that ugly come up that happens in business. And so we really just want to talk the realness and really just talk to the things that we should know about, the mindset that we need to have, the pitfalls that we need to circumvent in order to be the successful entrepreneurs that we want to be. What I love about our channel is that we don't just focus on entrepreneurs in what would be considered the classical sense. We also spend a lot of time talking about the industry of network marketing, or MLM, multi-level marketing, with which both Winston and I are a part of. And we're really excited because I feel like not enough people are talking about that either. Ugly come up or no, but there's an ugly come up in that industry as well. And I'm really excited for today's question because we're going to get into some of that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And guys, just a reminder, if you are brand new and you haven't yet subscribed, you want to click that notification bell so that each week. There are times where we take a break from the show, and so this allows you to, and for YouTube to send you guys notification messages so when Janelle and I or one of our many guests are going to be on, so that you guys do not miss a minute. We are definitely usually on at Wednesdays at 3, but you definitely want to hit that subscribe and that notification so that you guys never miss a minute of this amazing show. And with that, let's get that drum roll and let's get into today's question, guys. It's going to be a good one. So today's question is,
what factors should motivate you to make network marketing into a career?
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Look, if you already have factors in mind, please put them in the chat, put them in the comments. We will talk about your comments live on our, on air as we do it. But also, if you're watching the recording, put them in the chat in the recording as well, because we really want to hear from you guys in the community about what your thoughts are, especially this topic. I am very curious to know what everybody's thoughts are.
Yeah, let's get a good back and forth going.
So in terms of some of the factors, should I go first, or do you want to go first?
No. I'd love it. I love it.
So I'll just go to exactly what I was thinking about as I was watching our intro video. So that intro video is a compilation of me and Winston doing different things, talking to different people, working our business, having fun, that type of a thing. And that very last segment, when we were on stage and there were all these people cheering and everything like that, I will never forget that moment. It was a moment in my life because I was being recognized for the first time for hitting a particular rank in my network marketing company. And I think one of the factors that motivates people to make network marketing into a career is recognition. People will go anywhere for recognition, to be quite honest, because most of us aren't receiving it at our jobs. Even quite frankly, at home, right? With the different things that we all do at home for our families, for our significant others, for our kids. And so to get recognition somewhere where you're not getting it elsewhere sometimes feels like the only water in a desert. And that I think will make somebody want to figure this out just so they can be recognized for the work that they've done in a way that they're not getting access to that type of recognition elsewhere. So for me, recognition is huge.
No, that's big. And just to add to what Janelle's saying, because I know last week I did this where there's some vernacular that we may use because we've been in the industry now that some of you who are in brand new is like, wait, what is she even talking about? What exactly is a rank? What that meant was Janelle and her organization, people who she helped either personally recruit or who came in through somebody else who she recruited or sponsored to join her company, partner up with her and her teammates. She helped them either go out and sponsor other people, bring in a certain level of volume, depending on how your company structure is situated. and they have these different ranks or achievements. The way we usually look at it is there comes a specific income that comes with a rank, whether it's monthly, weekly, again, however your company breaks it down. And Janelle, through her, hard work, dedication, and focus and skill that she acquired, was able to hit that significant rank. It was a huge deal. You saw me there on stage with her as well, because it's really good. One of the things that I will say, and it's funny that we can get into the income side, which I'm definitely going to share why I think just as a career, the money you can earn here, given what it takes to get started in a network marketing company, is nowhere close to what many of us may. I recently got done paying off my last bit of college tuition almost 20 years later. So shout outs to anybody who knows the struggle of what it is to literally have graduated from school almost 20 years ago and you're still paying off debt from that. I can tell you that it wouldn't have cost me as much or nearly as much to get an education in network marketing as it did for me to get a college degree. But with that said, a part of that recognition that Janelle was receiving is huge because someone who used to do real estate, there are other industries and other vehicles that you can do or work or build that allow for you to have success. But the way that you have to go out and get that money or the things that you may have to do aren't always maybe aligned with who we are as people. I know a lot of people who work really good jobs, lawyers in particular, but they feel like the job is like soul sucking to them. They hate some of the work that they have to do. They aren't excited about the things that they have to do. And don't get me wrong, we've talked in previous episodes about losing motivation in doing this business and things like that. And I think to the point we've found with many entrepreneurs, that's just a part of it. Discouragement is a part of what it is. But to be able to wake up every day and to be excited about what you get to do, just Janelle was talking about our intro video. Guys, I used to take vacations when I did real estate. And there were so many burdensome things that I was concerned about. One, when I wasn't there renting, I wasn't earning any income. I mean, when I took a vacation, I understood that this meant I needed to work to a certain point to earn up enough money to set aside. Because if I took a week off, it was a week where I was going without pay. If I wanted to take 2 weeks off, I was going. There is no 2 weeks off paid vacations, none of that. And where I was working, you got paid based on what you did. Many of us, that may be the same situation. If you work in a sales or a commission-based job, if you work a salary, you may not even understand what I'm talking about right now. But even then, I had to be concerned about things like that. Those times in those videos and things that you saw Janelle and I, in almost every instance, if I was at a paid rank, when I was on those trips or vacations that we were taking, I was earning money while I was away because of the way our industry is situated, where you're allowed to foster a community of people who are out there themselves pushing and striving towards certain ranks. And in doing it and building it that way, guys, you can create a nest egg. You can really create a passive residual income that will outwork you. One of the beautiful things I remember one of our mentors saying when they got involved in this is he wants the type of money that chases the sun. Like he wants to be able to sleep where he is, and in another country across the world, other people who are on his team in his distribution chain, they're getting up, getting ready to go out and earn themselves some money, which because of how things are structured in network marketing allows for you to also earn an income. So for me, I'm going to go with leverage. I think the leverage that this industry provides is one of the reasons why, and another I guess term we use is why the juice is worth the squeeze. Having that type of leverage. I mean, Janelle can speak to this. I don't know if a teacher's aide or someone jumped in to teach one of her classes, if that guarantees that she's going to get a check. Again, that may not be the case how your job works, but with our industry, if you are building a team and these people are in your downline or you're in your distribution chain, that leverage is huge. And that's definitely one of the biggest reasons or factors for me that I've decided to make this something I want to become a career. I want to have a career in.
So I love that. So let's talk about leverage a little bit. I love how you broke down recognition for those who are like new to this industry. Let's break down leverage, because I also admit that when I first started in network marketing, they talked about leverage, but I didn't really understand it until I had it for the first time. And I was like, what is this? Right? So let's break down or unpack what leverage really is, right? you'll see a lot of like, there's all sorts of stuff on social media that says like, well, if you don't have leverage in your life, then you are the leverage for somebody else. And like all these things. But if you don't understand what that means, it just sounds like a lot of pomp and circumstance. We don't know what's going on. So let's break down what that means. So in network marketing, what's really cool is that you get to build your business based on team building, right? So let's say I only have 1 hour a week that I can devote to my business. That's looking to acquire new customers, meeting new people. Maybe it's acquiring new business partners, right? But I only have an hour a day to devote to that. Well, you know, during my business building, I meet someone who is also looking to make extra income and only also has an hour in their day to work on said business, right? Well, we partner up and we're like, what if we combine our hours together and now each of us have 2 hours that is going towards our business that we didn't have before. I only had an hour, but if I combine my hour with your hour now, that's 2 hours that both of us have towards building this business. So what does that look like? That looks like this other person who is also only has an hour and it's a different hour of the day than mine, right? So let's say that person is in a different country. Let's even use that example so this becomes really clear. So let's say it's my friend in London, right? So my friend in London decides to do this as well. The only time that they can do this is between the hours of 6 and 7 p.m. at night for them. 6 and 7 p.m. at night for them is noon our time. Let's just say that. Noon, 1 o'clock our time. So like lunchtime, right? So while I'm at work doing things at lunch that I just can't get out of, right? Like I don't have the time. The person who is in my team or organization, they use that hour to make sales, meet other people who want to join the business, etc. Let's say they make some sales. Well, guess what? Those sales also help my business. So I essentially have now made money in a different time zone, even though I am not there. That helps me make money and earn, right, towards that. So then my hour comes, right? And it's now 5, 6 o'clock for me. This is the time that I have to work on this. Now it's like midnight for that person, right? They're in London, they're sleeping. Now I'm working on it. And guess what? I also do the same. And I also help the organization grow in that way. That's only 2 hours, right?
That's beautiful.
2 hours, but I only had 1. So now you understand the 2 things that are happening. 1, you can make money in different time zones, make money while you're sleeping, right? And also 2, how leverage works. Because imagine what I just said times 5. What if you had 5 other people who each had an hour? What if you had 10 other people who just had an hour? What if you had 100 people who just had an hour? So just imagine how that grows. And that's one of the reasons why I think network marketing is amazing, because Winston is absolutely right. In my teaching role, in my teaching job, if I don't teach, I don't get paid. Right? Like somebody can't come in and then they're like, oh, I'll teach for you, whatever. I mean, like sometimes you get subs or whatever, right? But like that only works for a limited amount of time. That's not like normal standing operations. So it's just one of those things where it's like, this is one of those industries that like you can't really find that type of leverage in many other places. And it's one of the reasons why I love network marketing also.
I love that. All right. Well, the next one I'll share then for me is certainly the education. And I don't mean, well, actually I mean it on all fronts, because I know that without the sales training that, you know, this, like we've talked about in the past, it is a sharing business. You are sharing from the perspective of it's something that you're using yourself and then helping somebody make an educated decision about whether or not they think it'd be valuable for them as well. But the sales aspect of it, to me, goes more into the side of how I track things, how I allocate my time, things like that. Now you're really getting into you're learning some of the skills. But specifically, the training I'm referring to is personal development. Guys, I had worked in 2 different, one is a personal trainer, the other one is a real estate broker. And in both instances, sales is a huge part of what it is that we did. With real estate, I was somebody who had to sit down and make phone calls. I cold called. I had to walk around and hand out my business card. I had to go to networking events, different things like that. And then even within personal training, I'd meet people on the floor of the gym, or I'd have somebody come in for a consultation. And in all instances, at the end, I was asking for some type of transaction where it was, you know, purchase this apartment, rent this space, or hey, you're going to start training here with me, and so on and so on.
Mm-hmm.
But what I had never had was personal development. I had never had anyone in any of those jobs, even the sales ones, give me a book that talked about my own worth, self-value, or how to look at things maybe in a different perspective than how I was perceiving them. And that for me is a journey that started now almost 10 years because of network marketing. And I can tell you it has drastically changed my life. And maybe many of you are just natural readers. Maybe many of you, that's just something that you've walked into. I know people who like to read, but the things they're reading it's not the type of books I'm talking about. I'm talking about books that are really talking about how to better yourself, how to work on your mindset, things that address your mindset, things that you may be habits you may have that you're just moving through life with, but you're not sure why you're doing these things. I mean, even some of the stuff that Janelle's new book is going to be talking about in the same of shame and trauma, different things like that. It's like to have someone not only give you the tools, but then stand on stage a couple weekends out of every year and talk and address a lot of these things is, I mean, honestly, I know that the place I am mentally and spiritually in my life is I owe so much of that to this industry, and the education that has come from this industry, because I certainly know that without it, I certainly maybe, are still earning an income from a job, which again, there's nothing against that. But I definitely don't think I would be looking at life the way I do now, which at times, obviously, for everyone, we go through a lot in life. The tools that I've learned to use because of personal development has been paramount in helping me get through a lot of challenging times. So for me, the education, again, more specifically, again, personal development through this industry is definitely a reason why I think there are many people who actually don't even earn a huge income, and you'll hear them talking about why the education that they get from events is such a big deal, or just the books and the people who they're introduced to because of this industry. So I think that's a big part of it for me.
It's interesting. So I was talking to one of our former guests, so Rachel Pauling. Shout out to you.
Statement junkie, baby.
Statement junkie, yes. So for all of you that are into nonprofit work, definitely want to chime in and watch that episode with Rachel Pauling.
Yeah, we'll add that one at the end for you guys today, so you guys
yes,
check it out.
Yes. And one of the things that she and I were talking about is that most people will stay with a job if they feel like the job is pouring into them. So what does that look like? And there are some companies that will bring in experts to help people grow and create that growth mindset. And what that looks like when you have to pay for it yourself versus the company reimbursing you. So maybe you find something that you want to go to and they'll reimburse you, or they'll just bring them in, right? And so like you don't even see the cost because like they're just there. And there are several companies out there, but they point to that as the reason why people say, and I have to say, it's the same thing. I think, again, to Winston's point, one of the biggest reasons why people stay in network marketing is because they love being poured into, right? Because it's not just about the money that you make. Great, we want to help you make money and everything, but like, what are you going to do with that money when you get it?
Yeah.
Right? Like you're making tons of money and then what, right? Like we've heard so many stories about how people earn money and then or like with the lotto, right? You like earn millions of dollars in the lotto and then within days, weeks, months, gone, right? Like all the money is gone. And it's because people don't have the mindset that's required in order to manage and maintain that type of wealth, right? Or that type of abundance. So I really think it's really important. So for any of you that are in a network marketing company and you find that what we're talking about seems to be missing, you may want to consider what we're saying and look into some other companies that maybe do have that. Because if the company isn't pouring into you to make sure that you're the best version of yourself, then what's the point?
Yeah.
You win all this, or win, sorry, that's a lotto, but you earn all this money with all of the work that you've been doing with network marketing and building your business but like you like you're empty, right? It's all empty. It seems unfulfilling. I don't even know if it seems like it's going towards your purpose because you haven't been poured into in that way. And so I would say, please, if your company doesn't offer it, certainly significantly consider whether that's something that you actually want to look towards, because if you're not growing, you're dying. And so you really just got to make sure that you're being poured into. We've had mentors say what's
Down
Down
in the
the well
well.
comes up in the bucket, and if you've got
Mhm.
nothing's coming out. I also, because I'm in a different place in my life where I'm about recognizing self-care, and for a long time I used to think taking care of myself was a very selfish thing, but I love the saying is that you need to give to others from the overflow, not from an
Yeah.
empty cup, but from the overflow. And so again, if you're not being poured into, you're not going to have anything to
To
give
pour it back
your
out.
team, right? To give the people who are building a business with you, to give your customers who decide like, oh my God, I do want your products, right? Like you need to be poured into in like a major way. And I'm glad Winston brought this up because this was one of mine as well. But it is really important for you as a person to get that type of
Support
training,
it. Yeah.
support,
Hmm.
however you describe pouring into, whatever that means for you, you definitely need that.
Just to add to that, and then we'll throw one more out there. I know we're running low on time. I will say one of the things that I've learned to love is watching owners of the companies that we've been partnered with, or and even the gentlemen that we get trained under, talk about the fact that they consider this a personal development company masquerading as a sales company, right? And I love that because it's, if any of you are familiar with the gentleman Simon Sinek, he talks about just the way that many of the companies that they may seemingly have financial success, but the ones that really have like great, like when you read about them, you hear how the employees love being there. It's because of the way the culture that the company is built upon, like what their core values, things like that. Like, guys, I've worked in places where the company doesn't have core values. That's not a thing. It's a business. And again, many of you are looking into the space of entrepreneurship. You really have to ask yourselves, what am I building? You can go out and earn money doing a myriad of things. I mean, I've literally just heard about dipping your feet in something and taking photos, and you can earn money doing this. Like, for anyone out there who got nice, like, see Janelle's like, I got nice feet. Like, what's happening? Right? Like, you can earn money, guys, doing many things out in this world. But if we look at the legacy, many people are concerned about legacy. What am I doing? How is it impacting others? How can I affect others with what it is that I'm doing? I think that within that space of educating the people who work with you should be paramount, regardless of whether that person leaves your business or not. Did they leave a better person than when they joined you? Who was it that we had on? Lily? Oh God, was it? I think it was. Who was the attorney? The estate attorney?
Yeah, Lillian Cashill.
Lillian, okay, thank you. When she talked about just the way of going into a job and looking at it as what can I take away from here? I mean, literally the day when she was on, and she said that it literally changed my mindset about going into a job for a short period of time, but having a mindset of what can I learn from this job to carry on with me, as opposed to let me just go here to earn some money. It really shifted, even for me, the way to even look at something like that, because there are many times where just considering going into any type of work, I'm not thinking about what can I go there and learn, how can I add value. I am concerned about the money, what are they going to pay me for doing things. And I think that that's a part of the challenge or problem we have with the way we look at things. It's just that. And personal development, again, being in the right environment changes a lot of that for you, because your perspective can be very limiting based on the surroundings you've obviously, many of us have probably grown up in. And like I said before, many people who get into this business model, I think we're searching for something. It may start out as money, but what we're really searching for, and Simon Sinek talks about this as well, is we want to feel like we're a part of something.
Mm-hmm.
And many people in companies and jobs, I'm sorry, when they try their best, I think for me, I found that they do try their best to create a bit of a culture, but it seems very fake. And then on the other side is when things don't work out the way they need it to, meaning the company or whoever is running it, I feel like it's very quick. They're quick to flip on the way they approach you or treat you. And that for me is can be very off-putting to not feel like you actually are genuinely a part of something. And in our industry, I just feel like that's not the case. I feel you can be a part of something if you approach it and look at it the right way. So I just wanted to add that. Jay, what's another one for you?
I love that. Something that you said that I didn't think of, but is a big thing for me, and so I'll just say it quickly, is legacy. So with network marketing, you are building leveraged
Oh, yeah, this is
passive
good.
residual income. So that means that your spot is something you can actually will onto your children.
Yeah,
You
that's a
can will
big
it
one.
onto your significant other. You can will it to your dog, right? Like, and then that person now earns the residual income, or animal earns the residual income for, as long as the spot is making income. You can't do that with your job. You can't pass on your job to your kids. You can't pass on your jobs to your spouse. Like, you can't do that. And that's something that you
That's a
can
big
only
deal.
find that in network marketing. So, or I shouldn't say not only in network marketing. It's something about network marketing that, again, I think keeps people they want it to be a career. Now, I said that very quickly, but the real thing I wanted to talk about, the thing that I also like about making it a career, is helping other people get access to what I think is a turnkey business.
Yeah, that's
When you
big.
think about businesses, and I didn't understand business like I do now back when I got started, but what's really cool is many people, when they think about becoming entrepreneurs, and when they do, they got to put in their life savings, like everything, like sometimes even take out loans. I'll be really honest with you. You can get business loans, sure, but what if the business doesn't work out, right? And then you have to like pay that loan back from where, maybe you go back to your other job, or what have you, or another job, or go back to a job, excuse me, if you're, the typical or the classic version of an entrepreneur. But what I love about network marketing is that it's a turnkey business, meaning like all of the things are already there for you. The product or service is already there for you. You don't have to come up with it on your own, right? You have a team. Oh, dang. But I'll just finish the sentence to say you have a team of people who are creating the products, who are working on it, who are constantly working on making it better, taking it, taking feedback and things like that. You already have a website. If anybody who's tried to build a business before, having a website is like easily more than $100 a month just to maintain that website. You get a website, you get promotional things, right, where they send out things to your customers for you. They do that
Emails, all
for
of
you,
that. Yep.
like the announcements, new things,
Product offerings, services. Yep.
all of this gets done for you. It's literally turnkey. It's like when you buy a place that already has the furniture and it's all like ready to be lived in. It's the same thing with this business, and you don't need to give your life savings for it. And what's amazing is that you can show other people how to start a business without them having to give up their life savings to do the same thing, to have a turnkey business. And I love that.
No, that's definitely huge. And it's definitely one of the ones I was going to throw out as well. Besides the amount of money that we can make. Just to put some numbers to what Janelle's talking about, and many of us are obviously familiar with McDonald's. Guys, to get started with a McDonald's, you have to have $500,000 in liquid assets. So that's not in things that you also own. That's liquid asset that they are able to have access to. It's a $45,000 franchise fee for you to get started. And most people on average, guys, are spending anywhere between 1.3 million to 2.3 million just to get started in a McDonald's. And if anyone knows anyone, they can tell you. I've spoken to, again, in real estate, helped a lot of those guys open up those businesses. It's about 3 to 5 years before they see a dollar back in profit because of what they have to put up in front. That is certainly not the case. I know many people, Janelle and myself have helped many people who've gotten started in our industry, and within the first week to a month, they can earn back their investment that they used to get started. And it's nowhere close to 45,000. I've never even seen a company in network marketing that your upfront cost just to get started, it's $45,000. So the last thing I'm going to add, and maybe not necessarily a reason to make it a career, but definitely a reason to get started, guys, is the low barrier of entry to our industry. It is, one of the most affordable ones I've ever seen. I wish we definitely had more time to go into this one, but thank you guys so much for joining us today. Thank you for the comments, and that was huge. I know Janelle and Nadia, she stole yours. You wrote it, and then she just went out there and talked about it like she did it. But no, guys, thank you so much. Guys, we are incredibly excited because we have another series that's going to be coming to you guys in a few weeks. We're going to be talking to a lot of really, really interesting people over the next couple of weeks. So, guys, like I said, make sure before you finish today, if this is your first time, you've not done so, hit that subscribe button right at the top. You're definitely not going to want to miss a minute of what we got coming for you guys in July and for the rest of this season.
And I would just like to wrap up and say, we only have 25 minutes here. But if you want to see any of the overtimes, just become a Patreon community member of ours. It's either $10, $30 or $50. You can become a community member and get some huge benefits from that. But you get to see kind of like behind the scenes. You get to hear more from our guests that you don't get to see on YouTube. And there's so much value there for all of our entrepreneurs. So becoming a member, it's in the description box. You can do that today so you don't miss anything. Tons and tons and tons of value there.
Always a good place to be. All right, guys.
As always, remember you deserve a good life. Say that.
Have a great Wednesday, guys. Yes. And check out the episode with Rochelle that Janelle was talking about. You'll see, guys.